Hi guys, Assalamualaikum and greetings. So welcome to the first chapter of MKT243 on fundamentals of marketing. So in this fundamentals of marketing syllabus, we're going to learn 8 chapters, which basically today I'm going to cover with you on the overview of marketing. Okay, so hopefully each and every week we will be able to do one chapter each until the 8th week, which is on the contemporary topics in marketing. So for today, this is the learning objective, or by the end of this particular video or session, I will hope that everyone, will be able to understand on the overview of marketing, the elements of marketing mix. There are 4 P's. We will look into that one later on, and then on the understanding of marketing management philosophies, as well as the external and marketing environment. So let's get started. Okay, when you heard the word marketing, what comes into your mind? Okay, perhaps in the previous class, I have mentioned to you, marketing is actually about everything that you use or you wear or you eat. Okay, so it is basically about products. Okay, yes, it's about product, about services. When you talk about, yes, there are advertisement, is marketing. If there is a discount, is marketing. When you go to a shopping mall, is marketing. Okay, so let's first look at the market. Okay, so market is actually the actual or potential buyers of a product. So please put in your mind from now onwards, when I say the word market, it is not that wet market or supermarket. Okay, so market are actually people, right? So these people could be an actual buyer or the potential buyers of any products that is being sold. Now we're going to learn on the definition of marketing based on the American Marketing Association's definition, which they said that marketing is the activity, or what they call it, a set of institutions and also processes. For what do they have this activity, institution, and also process? It's for creating, communicating, delivering, and also exchanging offerings. Okay, so these offerings are basically products, which have value for customers, client, partners, and society at large. Basically, these are customers. Okay, and marketing involves more than just the activities performed by a group of people defined in the area or a department of an organization. So in an organization, you will normally see there is a marketing department, or a unit of marketing, but it is not just about or involving these people, but rather when you talk about creating, communicating, delivering, there are interdependent parties, or interdependent people that will be actually working together towards, delivering this particular offerings that gives value to the customers. So when you talk about exchange, when you offer something, meaning to say there is an exchange, that means people will give up on something in order to receive something that they would rather have. When you talk about exchanging, that means there must be something that you give so that you'll be able to get something else. And common medium of exchange is of course money. Today we always exchange using money, and of course perhaps in the future, although the money is no longer in terms of paper and also coins, but perhaps it is also includes the bitcoins and so on. Now, when you talk about exchanging just now, there are 5 conditions that must be satisfied for an exchange to take place. Number 1, there must be at least 2 parties. Of course, when you want to do exchanges, right, you want to exchange with somebody, it must be at least with 2 parties. And each party has something that might be value of to the other party, meaning to say when somebody want to exchange something, both must be mutually accepting, right, that the person A and person B have something that both person A and person B value. Of course, in the case of a customer and also a seller, the customer will value the product and the seller will value the money that you can exchange to when you want to buy the product. Number 3, each party is capable of communication and delivery. Of course, this is important. If you want to exchange something, you must be able to talk, or at least you text or you say something, okay, communicate and tell that you want to buy a thing or a product, and there must be a delivery methods, okay, that is agreed upon. Number 4, each party is free to accept or reject the exchange offer. Okay, you cannot force people to actually buy, or you cannot force people to sell to you, right? And number 5, each party believes it's appropriate or desirable to deal with the other party, because you know there are many sellers, okay, and of course there are many customers as well. So each party, especially the buyers, right, will think that it is appropriate to deal or to buy from that particular seller, right? And it is desirable for them to deal with one another, right? So there is a note here: exchange may not take place even if all of these conditions exist, but these conditions are necessary for exchange to be possible. Okay, at least one of them. Of course, number 1 lah, especially you cannot exchange with yourself, right? When you talk about exchanging with yourself, you don't say it's an exchange, it is actually changing. Okay, like you change your clothes, it's your own clothes, right? But when you talk about exchanging the clothes, meaning you have to exchange with somebody else, right? Next, moving on to the second part of this chapter, which is the elements of marketing mix. So this is simple. There are 4 P's like I mentioned, namely product, place, promotion, and also price. When I talk about marketing mix, it doesn't matter which one comes first, okay? You can say, okay, it's product, and then promotion, it is price, and then place, as long as there are 4 of them, okay, these 4 P's. So let's look at product. What is actually a product? Product is anything, okay, that can be offered to a market for attention, acquisition, use, or consumption that might satisfy a need or a want, okay, of course. Or when you talk about wants and needs, okay, wants are desires, okay, while needs are actually things that you require to have in order for your survival, okay. So I bet you will be able to actually what they call it, explain or give examples of what are the wants and also the needs. Like you need to eat, okay, you need to eat. There is a need here, meaning you need food, but what type of food? You can just eat rice, but you want to eat burger, for example. Okay, so burger is a want, that you wanted to eat that burger, but what you actually need is actually any food will do. Even instant noodle, you can actually use it or you consume it as food, isn't it? But you want to eat burger, but you want to eat ice cream, you want to eat cheesecake, right? So those are wants, your desires, while needs are rather something basics, okay? So these are some of example of the products. Okay, you can see there are a lot more. Of course, you know each of them. Next, place. Now, place is actually putting products in the market through marketing channels, which are the sets of interdependent organizations involved in the process of making a product or service available, be it online or offline, okay, for the use or consumptions of people. When I talk about place, okay, these are actually the distribution of the product from the point of the factory, okay, to the point where people can actually buy or use or consume the product. So of course, when you talk about places, right, there are many places, which includes, of course, the shops itself, the physical stores, and also online, okay. Next one is the price. What is actually a price? Price is the amount of money charged for a product or the sum of the values that consumers exchange, okay, for the benefits of having or using the product. So bear in mind that price is not actually the actual value of a product, but rather is a perceived value, okay. It's the sum of value that consumer exchange, meaning to say some prices, okay, doesn't worth that much, but it is at that particular price, okay. So it is actually, when you talk about what is actually price, it's the amount of money that customer need to pay to the seller in order to buy the product, okay. So that is in simple terms. Lastly, the promotion. So promotion is actually the activity that supports or provides active encouragement for the furtherance of a cause, venture, or aim, all right, which compasses of the promotion mix or the promotion tools, which are advertising, personal selling, public relations or the publicity, and also sales promotion. Okay, so when you talk about, you see a billboard or you watch an advertisement, you heard about that particular advertisement in the radio, or you scroll through your Instagram and you see a lot of sponsored advertising or sponsored advertisement. Those are actually promotion. Okay, we will learn this further in our chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, moving on. I hope you're still with me. I think it's already about 11 minutes, all right? So this is on marketing management philosophies. So a little bit in what they call it here, history, yeah, about how marketing evolved, right? So it was started from the production orientation, then it goes to the sales orientation, marketing orientation, and today a lot of the people and also organization are doing the societal marketing orientation. Let's look at each of these. Production orientation is actually focusing on internal capabilities of a firm rather than on the desires and needs of marketplace. This is what happened. When you talk about production orientation, you are looking at the organization whereby they produce what they can, okay, based on their internal capability, meaning to say, if I know how to produce chocolate cake, okay, so what I do is that I will just sell the chocolate cake, okay, because I'm very good at it. So regardless, people want to have other types of cake, I cannot produce other type of cakes because what I know is actually I am able to produce a chocolate cake. So I am having this production orientation. You are concerning with what it does best, okay, based on its resources and experience rather than with what consumer wants. So even though people are asking me, oh, do you have a banana cake? Or I said, no, I don't have banana cake because I only have chocolate cake and I know how to produce my chocolate cake very well. Therefore, I'm only going to sell chocolate cake. People are asking, do you have any cheesecake? No, I don't have cheesecake. Do you have any what are the cakes that they have now? Crepe, the red velvet cakes, any other types of cake? No, I don't have all those cakes because I'm having my production orientation in this particular bakery. I only sell chocolate cake. All right. Moving on to the second orientation, which is the sales orientation. In sales orientation, it assumes that more goods and services will be purchased if aggressive sales techniques are used, and that will result in a high profits. What happened is that it's similar with the production orientation, okay, because you do not look into what customer want to have or want to buy, but rather you think of your own capability. Like, for example, I am able to produce chocolate cake just now. So what I do is that although people are asking for other types of cake, but I do not want to produce other cakes because I do not know how to do that. And I don't want to acquire or learn new skills to produce other cakes. But rather, I will just sell. Okay, so what I do is that I have a lot of chocolate cakes. So I do an aggressive sales towards this particular chocolate cake. Aggressive here doesn't mean that you're going to punch or kick that particular person if they don't buy, but rather you do a lot of promotion. Meaning to say, I will always do advertisement, tell the people about my chocolate cake, okay, do, let's say, door-to-door selling, although now they don't really door-to-door, but maybe perhaps I will just advertise on my social media, on my WhatsApp status and so on, so that people will be able to expose to the information which is about the chocolate cake. So that is when you do sales orientation with the aim that you just simply sell as many as possible, which when you have a lot of sales, it will result in high profits. Moving on to the third orientation, which is market orientation. Remember the word market just now when I said in the first few slides, it's about people, isn't it? So market orientation is where is the marketing concept states that the social and economic justification of an organization's existence is the satisfaction of customer wants and needs while meeting the organizational objective. So in market orientation, there are this concept. Number one, you are focusing on customer wants and needs. So organization can differentiate its product or products from the competitors' offerings. Meaning to say, you are going to focus on what customer want. So no longer just about chocolate cake. Now today, when I am moving on or I am evolving my firm into this market orientation, what I'm concerned now is not only just my own capability to produce the chocolate cake, but rather I'm focusing on what the customer would like to buy. Okay, so when people are asking, do you have any cheesecake? Then I start to think of, okay, I now need to also produce cheesecake because there are demand of this cheesecake. Okay, and then integrate all the organization's activities, including production, okay, to satisfy these wants and needs. So let's say I told you just now, I do not know how to produce cheesecake. What I need to do is to learn the new skill, okay, to acquire the resources. If I do not know how to bake cheesecake, I need to hire a chef that can actually bake a cheesecake, okay, or I need to learn, go for a course, okay, for a training and learn on how to produce a very nice cheesecake so that I will be able to produce it that will satisfy the customers wants and needs. And number three, achieving the long-term goals for the organization by satisfying customer wants and needs legally and responsibly. Or when I'm talking about this market orientation, I no longer want just customer come today and tomorrow they will never come again. Okay, so this is when I want customer to always come to my bakery or to my shop to always buy from me. That is by making customer loyal to you, the long-term goals, which is when you have a loyal customer, they will always come back to you to buy things. All right, and you are able to make customer happy. Okay, customer are satisfied with your product, they are happy with the cheesecake, so next time they might want to come and order again from you. Okay, and they will also tell other people, hey, go and order the cheesecake from this particular shop because they are very nice, right? Lastly, the societal marketing orientation, which here the organization existence not only to satisfy customer wants and needs. Now, in market orientation, just now we're talking about this, right? Not satisfying customer wants and need. But in this societal marketing orientation, okay, it is also to preserve or enhance the individuals and society's long-term best interests, which this orientation extend the marketing concept to serve the three bodies, not only just the customer and also the organization itself, but also society as a whole. Now, when I look into this particular business just now of chocolate cake and then cheesecake, right? In societal marketing orientation, if I were to move on into this particular orientation, now what I will believe is that I know cakes are not really healthy for you to eat every day, okay? I understand that people might be concerned with the level of sugar, cholesterol, and then, when you eat too much cakes, then you'll be having a lot of other diseases like diabetes, okay, obesity, and so on. So taking care of the long-term best interest of my customers, okay, I was thinking about, okay, I shouldn't be only producing those types of cakes that are fattening, okay, that are high in sugar. What I need to do is actually to be innovative, okay, to find out how people can still eat cakes but will actually also preserve their health or will not harm their health, right? So I started to learn on how to produce the gluten-free cakes, okay, healthier choices of cakes like carrot cakes, trans fat free cakes. All right, what else? High fiber cakes with the anything that can actually improvise the health of my customers. Okay, so that is when I enhance the society's long-term best interest. So I don't want my customer to get sick also, okay, of eating so much cakes and so much sweetness in the cake. So I also take care of my customers. So that is actually societal marketing orientation. So if you have any questions, all right, so by far for now, if you have any questions, just text me in our Telegram, then I will be able to answer you at once, right? So this is actually the slide where I summarize, okay, the whole concept of the three orientation just now and their key ideas. Moving on to the last part of this chapter, which is on the external marketing environment. Okay. If you feel tired, you can just take 5 first. If not, then you can just continue with this particular video. To be honest, it's gonna be a little bit long, okay, a little bit long about this particular last part of this particular chapter, which external marketing environment includes. Okay, the forces or factors, okay, outside the marketing, which affects marketing ability to build and maintain successful relationship with customers. So sometimes we're going to use the word external environment, but sometimes they are also known as the macro environment. So it's actually the same thing. So what are they? Here, in this particular slide, you'll be able to see the external environment here. As I said just now, the macro environment, yeah, these are the factors that you cannot control. Unlike this one, the 4 P's, okay? The 4 P's are actually internal environment, okay, which I already mentioned to you just now, the 4 P's, product, place, promotion, price. Okay, so these are within the organization, which organization can control. If you have a business, then you'll be able to control this, your product, your place, to produce, to sell the product, the promotion that you wanted to do, and then the price of your product. You are able to control this. However, when talking about the macro environment or the external environment, these are the 5: demographic and social. Okay, these are normally coupled together. And then you have the economic factors, political and legal factors, technology, and also the competition. So all these factors are actually affecting on how you do your 4 P's and the target market, which are your customers. Okay, so we are going to learn on this particular external environment by scanning all this environment to be able to understand them, so that we somehow, okay, you cannot control, of course, but somehow you are able to tackle this particular external environment. So these are the external environment that I mentioned just now. Let's first look at the social factors. Social factors is related to the values, attitudes, and lifestyle. These are talking about people's characteristics, okay, people's lifestyle. You cannot control them, okay, what people like, the attitude of people, what do people value, right? And then these are the things which customers constantly change. Okay, even today you like something, tomorrow you don't like that thing anymore. Okay, your lifestyle, today you like to go to the library, or this semester you like to go to the library, next semester you like to go to the park, for example, right? So these lifestyles change. Attitudes also, today you like this particular brand, but then after for sometimes you feel bored with a particular brand, so your attitude has changed toward another brand. Okay, so these are some of the social factors that happen, and it affects how people actually wanted to buy your brand or your product or not. Secondly, we're talking about the changing role of families and also working women. The social factors also related to how families are now, especially the role, have changed. Last time you were talking about only the father works, okay? Now father and also mother also works in that family. And of course, there are also increasing number of working women. So last time, people might say that women only stay at home, right? After you get married, and then you just stay at home, cook, and then do the house chores, take care of the kids. But today, no. Okay, these have changed, and there are increasing number of working women, and there are becoming an independent woman that can actually decide and buy things not only just for the family but also for their own. All right, and of course today there is a poverty of time. When we talk about poverty of time, that is where time is never enough. Therefore, people wants everything to be very, very quick, very, very fast. You cannot wait. You want everything at your fingertips. You want everything to be done as quickly as possible. Same goes to when you want to order things, okay? When you want to get things done, everything has to be very, very fast. Therefore, as a business or as a seller, if you want to launch a new product or you want to sell your product, you must make sure they are available at the time where customer would like to buy it. Next part is the demographic. Okay, so what is actually demographic? Demography actually is a study of human populations, which include the size, density, location, age, gender, race, occupation, and other statistics. And when you talk about demographic environment, it involves people. Which people are the market just now, right? Not okay. So we're going to look at the cohorts here, all right? The cohorts. So you can see pictures here. These are the baby boomers. You can see how they look like. Of course, these are like your grandparents, okay? The Gen X, right? The Gen Y, and also the Gen Zs. Gen Zs are basically the tweens and also the teens here, which ages between 19 to 9 years old. I bet you are on this particular cohort, isn't it, Gen Zs? All right. So why is it important to look into this? Because this particular group or cohorts or generations, okay, when I say Gen Y, I mean generation Y, generation Y here. Gen X means generation X. Gen Z means generation Z. So this group of people buy things differently. So that's why we're going to look into each of this particular cohort. First, let's look at the baby boomers. So baby boomers, you can see this particular person like a granny, okay, your grandmother, all right? So these are people who born between 1946 to 1964, and they are the most affluent customers. You see things inside these bubbles. These are the things that normally they will buy or they spend on, right? Talking about this particular baby boomers generation, they are now no longer working. Typically, they are retired already. Okay, so they stayed home. They already have their home, and they invested more towards things inside the house. They like to plant. Okay, they have pets. Normally, they have pets, and then they eat things that are very healthy, or they also like gardening. Okay, and then they do save money, and they have a lot of money actually. Okay, but normally they will not spend like you or like us, okay, which normally we just buy a lot of things, but they rather sit down, watch TV. Yeah, they watch TV. They don't watch laptop or their computer or their phone that much. Okay, they typically watch TV and spend time at home. Right? So these are baby boomers. Now they are most affluent in the way that because they have been in this world for so long. Okay, basically you can count how old they are basically now, right? So they normally know what are the hardship. Okay, they know the hardship, they know the value of things, they know the changes that happen towards this particular marketplace, right? And then they re they normally are very loyal towards certain brand. Okay, they don't want to switch any brand, and they are actually resist towards changes. Okay, when you say, okay, let's change your phone to the new smartphone, they don't really bother to buy the new or the latest smartphone that are available. They don't even bother to watch Netflix, and yeah, they normally spend time. Perhaps some of them may have Facebook lah, okay, just to reconnect with the relatives, okay, their grandsons, granddaughters, and so on, right? Next is Generation X, okay. Typically, this is your perhaps some of your parents, okay, or I think some of your parents are actually in Generation Y also. So these are the generation which born between 1965 to 1976. There are cautious economic outlook. They are less materialistic, and of course, they normally already have their own family, and they will always put their family first. Okay, so there are now the working workforce made up of about 60% of them. Okay, are actually in the workforce at the senior levels, right? Or they are actually when you talk about economic outlook, meaning to say they don't simply spend their money. Okay, they buy things that are for the family. Okay, and then they save a lot of money. Okay, save a lot of money for the family, of course, and for the future. All right. Next is the generation Y. So Generation Y are born between 1977 to 1995, right? They are very comfortable with the technology. These are, we call the millennial, okay, the Gen Y or eco boomers, right? The millennials. They engage with brands via mobile or social media, and they are the most financially strapped generation because they like to spend a lot. All right. So the Generation Y basically are now at their working work first year or second year, or perhaps trying to climbing up their career. Okay, they are in that particular uh, stage whereby they are of course struggling towards their career and trying to build their life, right? But they are also the one that likes to spend the money, because after you finish study, you started to get your job, okay, and then you started to get the money and from your salary, and then you like to spend a lot of things because normally you don't really have a lot of commitment, and then you don't really want to save because you want to buy things that you want, right? So they are very bright. They are always engaging with the technology, okay. Of course, these are the people who loves to do online shopping, okay. Watch Netflix, okay. And then this one, not really concerned about the health, but this love is concerned about likes, okay, the likings. Okay, everything that they want to find, of course, they will go and Google things before they make the decision to purchase things. Okay. And lastly, you, the Generation Z. Okay, I bet you know more about yourself. Okay, these are made up of the important kids, twins, and teens of the market today, and also represents the tomorrow's market. So your characteristics are basically, of course, towards the gadget all the time. Okay, you are concerned about everything that you want has to be quick, fast, and easy. Okay, you don't like things that are very difficult. That's why Generation Z's normally like things that are very simple, okay, less complicated, and very, very what they call it, effective or efficient products. Okay, they are also the one, of course, they don't have money yet. Normally Generation Z's are depending so much on the parents to buy their gadgets and things, and they are also very much concerned on the virtual social networks. Okay, you're not talking about meeting up in person, but rather in the virtual world, like your TikTok and so on. Okay. Next, okay, we have done with the social and also demographic forces or factors in the external environment. Now we move on to the economic. So there are three economic indicators, which are the purchasing power, inflation, and also recession. Now, what is actually a purchasing power? Is a value of a currency expressed in terms of the amount of goods or services that one unit of money can buy. When you talk about purchasing power, meaning to say with the money that you earn, how much can you actually buy? All right, so that is purchasing power. So the more money that you have, the more purchasing power that you will be able to have. Next is inflation. So inflation is the rate of which average price level of a basket of selected goods and services in an economy increases over a period of time, right? When it is the constant rise in the general level of prices where a unit of currency buys less than it did in the prior period. Okay, you can see an example here how inflation has changed the price of a cup of coffee over time. I'm not talking about the Starbucks coffee here, okay? I'm talking about just kopi O, right? In kedai mama or kedai biasa lah, right? So previously back in 1970s, a cup of coffee can just cost you at 25 cents. Can you imagine? Okay, 25 cents you can have a cup of coffee already, right? And in 2019, perhaps one cup of coffee is already 1 ringgit and 60 cents. And today, how much is a cup of coffee? I seldom go to kedai mama or kedai kopi already. But then I guess there is no such thing as coffee that is below 2 ringgit, right or not? Okay, I think today the cheapest that you can get perhaps 250, or most of the shops I think 4 ringgit for a cup of coffee. So last time it was just about 25 cents, and today the same cup of coffee, right, can cost you up to 2 ringgit. That is inflation. Okay, and next is recession. Recession is where a situation when the economy declines significantly for at least 6 months, all right, and there is a drop in income, employment, manufacturing, and retail sales. A recession happens when there is an economic downturn, basically. All right, so this is what happened when recession. People are normally do not have their income. Luckily, yeah, that's why during the pandemic, right, during the pandemic of COVID-19, our government do a lot of lockdowns, the MCO and so on, whereby a lot of people lost their job, right? So the government do not want this to happen more than 6 months, because once it happens more than 6 months, then there will be an economic downturn. So that's why the MCO is not done straight for 6 months, right? They stop 3 months and then they open it up, and then of course there are some situation whereby they need to restrict the SOP and so on. So what happened is that if there is a recession, everything will drop. Okay, your income, meaning people lost their job. When people lost their job, there is an unemployment. Okay, drop in employment, meaning there are a lot of people unemployed. When people are unemployed, people don't have income. When people don't have income, then it leads to another social problems like people start to steal things, right? What they call the crime rate increases and so on. Okay, so what happened also is that as people do not have money, as income drop, when people don't have money, people don't buy things. When people don't buy things, people cannot sell things. Okay, the sellers, the businesses cannot sell their product because nobody is buying. So when they cannot sell the product, people don't buy, they need to close their shop. When they close their shop, then they need to close the factory. Once they close the factory, a lot of other people are affected to that particular factory. No more people working. So it's actually a domino effect. And it happens, yeah, back in 2007, 1997, because I don't know, somehow or other they said that every 10 years, okay, there will be this particular recession that happen. So what will be the how does it affect the marketing? Okay, so the marketers will need to offer value marketing, which offering financially cautious buyer a greater value, all right, with the right combination of quality and service at a fair price. Okay, so that people will feel that, okay, although the income is not that good, all right, or although the things are getting more expensive, but there is a value that they buy. Okay, best values. Moving on to the third one, which is technology. This is where the most dramatic force in changing the marketplace. Okay, technology change every day. Okay, and very fast, right? Where there are researchers that create new products, or that new products creates new opportunities, especially when you talk about the internet. Okay, last time people was thinking about internet for what? For finding information alone. Okay, why you have internet? For communication alone. You know, you want to send email, you want to chat with your friend. That is about it. But today, the internet has make a lot more new opportunities, especially in business, whereby you can have your online businesses. Okay, when there is an online businesses, you're talking about online purchases globally. Okay, so there is where now the technology has also involved in global innovation, whereby people can actually what they call it, create product not only at just one place but at many places. And uh, you can actually like Apple, for example, design in California, they are made in China, but then they are actually after that sold everywhere across the world, isn't it? Okay, so that is how global innovation works. And of course, with this technology, there are concern for safety of the new products, because it's borderless, right? So there are no boundaries about that particular product. And yes, other than that, we are also concerning about our privacy. Okay, because once you made online payment, of course, there are details that are being shared online where you do not know where will that information actually went through. Okay. Number four is political and legal. Okay, these are the factors that will also affect or considered as the external marketing environment, in the way that political and legal environment consists of laws, okay, government agencies, and pressure groups that influence various organizations and individuals in a given society. So the legislations, this is related to laws, yeah. The federal law, the state law will regulate the business. Therefore, it will increase in some of the legislation, changing the government agency enforcement and so on. So remember when, because of the SOP, who actually come up with that SOP? It's from the political and legal, the legislation, right? So when KKM, Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, says that, okay, because of this COVID-19, there are a lot of things that need to be changed. We want to have the physical distancing. We want to make sure that people don't go to the shop that often or that long, and wearing masks and so on. Okay, so the businesses, right, they need to also adjust to that. Remember, during the MCO, the timing that you can actually operate for a business is only between certain time, so you have to follow. So all these are, perhaps you open from 10 to 10, but because of the laws, all right, the federal laws and also some of the states law regulate certain hours only that you can actually operate, so you have to follow that. Okay. And there are also increased emphasis on the ethics. Okay, having this socially responsible behavior, especially to protect the customers. Okay, and also some cost-related marketing, which this is about the societal marketing orientation that I mentioned just now. You are no longer just selling the product just for your customer and for you to gain the profit, but also at the same time, when you say that okay, we also need to help in, containing the COVID-19 virus, stop spreading the virus and so on. So there are much more cost related marketing that happens today. Lastly, the competitors. All right. So competitors, we're talking about who are these competitors. You know what is competitors? Competitors are actually sellers who sells the similar products like what you are having. Okay. For example, Apple, iPhone. Their competitors could be Samsung, selling their Samsung smartphone, Oppo smartphone, what else? Huawei smartphones, right? So these are competitors. How many of them? You need to know, because if you think that you are the only seller, you are wrong. Okay, because today there's no such thing as that one brand alone or one product that do not have the substitute. Okay, so you may want to look also on how big are these competitors are. Are they smaller than you, or are they bigger than you? And how interdependent is the industry? Meaning to say, do you need other industry in order to operate? Especially, let's say Apple or Samsung phone, yeah, you are very much relying on the telecommunication industry. Okay, the mobile phone industry are very very depending on the telecommunication industry. What is the purpose of having a smartphone without the internet line, for example? Okay, so this is when you need to know what are other industries that you need in order to be able to sell your product. Same goes to cars. Okay, what is the purpose of having cars if there's no fuel inside the car, right? Not? Okay, so talking about the competitors also, you're looking at the competition for market share and profit. So regardless of the form of the competitive market, as population growth slows, okay, I mean to say people are not many people are actually added up to that particular market share. Okay, costs will rise and available resources will tighten. Firms find they must work harder to maintain their profits and market share. Okay, when you talk about market share, you have to remember, like I told you, you are not the only seller. So among the market, the people, yeah, people, they are not necessarily only going to buy from you. They will also buy from other sellers. All right. So your share, meaning to say, if you have many customers, you have bigger share. All right. So of course, you want many more shares or many more customers to buy from you lah. Right? And talking about the global competition, there are more foreign firms entering the country. Even if they don't enter also because of the internet, right? Because of the online shopping platforms like Lazada, Alibaba, Shopee, and so on, right? Even certain websites also, you can just buy from wherever they are, where shipment is available worldwide. So there is an increase in global competition. So how are you going to compete with these particular firms? Of course, you cannot compare with products made from China, which are very cheap. Okay, and sellers from China are also normally selling their products at very cheap prices. So what you need to do, you need to compete with them. Okay, not only just last time, perhaps we will think about, okay, some imported cars and local cars. So the local cars need to compete with how good is the quality. So it is no longer just about the quality. Okay, it's about what are the added values that you can give so that you'll be able to compete with the international brands. Okay, so with that, all right, we finished chapter 1, and I would like to say that marketing affects your life every day. Yes, because as you wake up in the morning, you start to use a product. So that product is the decision that you make to actually buy it, or perhaps somebody gave it to you and you tend to like that particular product. And as you scroll through your Instagram, your TikTok, you are exposed to a lot of advertisement. Okay, and yeah, without all those products, you cannot live sometimes, right? Not, of course, especially food. Yeah, food is also marketing about a product that you offer. Okay, so it affects your life every day, and without the products itself, you will not be able to actually live in a convenient way or convenient method. All right, so with that, we finish chapter 1. If you have any questions, please do ask me in our Telegram chat. Thank you guys. Bye bye.